Did you know that the Essex region has a working demonstration farm? It's just east of Holiday Beach. Holiday Beach is just up the road from me here, and we encourage the public to come out to this real working farm to check out what we're doing here, and you can take yourself on a walking tour, and I'm going to show you some of what we have to offer here. So when you arrive at the demonstration farm, you'll see this sign, and on the sign you'll see this great big map here that shows you where all the different plots are. And you'll also find some information about agriculture in the Essex region, as well as different best management practices that we encourage farmers to use and that we trial here at the demonstration farm. You'll also find in this box here a handy self-guided walking tour for our 2021 field. So this will match up to the fields here so you can see what we're doing in each of the different plots. So once you're out walking in our fields, right in the middle of this handy guide is again your map. So right where I am here, this is field A, and this is planted into a soybean varietal trial. So this is something that Agriculture Canada does, where they check different varieties of soybeans to see how well they're doing in our climate here in the Essex region. So that's what's going on in field A. So this is field B, where we also have soybeans planted, but this is not a varietal trial. Here, soybeans were planted using a converted corn planter in a 30-inch row spacing. The wider row spacing allows for more efficient use of soybean seed and better soil placement of the seed. Wider rows were planted between the rows of corn stalks remaining from last year's crop. And before the corn of last year, this particular field was in several years of hay. Field C is also planted into soybeans, but we planted this particular field in two different ways. We planted half of it in the same way as field B with that 30-inch row spacing, and the other half was planted with a conventional no-till drill with 7.5-inch row spacing. The wider rows again allowed for that more efficient use of soybeans and better seed placement, but the wider rows made weed control a challenge as the crop did not canopy over until later in the season, shading out the newly emerging weeds. We're going to test the yield difference between these two methods at the end of the year when we harvest these soybeans. This is field D, and this field is currently in an alfalfa demonstration. Alfalfa is where we get hay, which is a livestock feed crop, and it's a perennial crop, and it's an excellent way of improving our soil structure. We're reducing soil compaction and soil erosion in a field cropping rotation. So this field will stay in alfalfa for a couple of years, and we'll get a couple of different cuttings of hay to feed local livestock. So this is a really cool partnership with our local farmers, and a great way for us to improve soil health on this particular field as it sits in alfalfa for a couple of years. Another favorite thing for me about alfalfa, and I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but it's a beautiful pollinator crop if and when it goes into flower. So this is one of my favorite things to see at the demo farm. So this is field E. Field E is where we have an integrated water quality assessment project going on, and at the back of the field you can see a building, and in that building are automated water samplers called ISCOs, and those are taking surface and tile drain samples to help us understand how phosphorus and nitrogen move out of this field. We have one half of this field in no-till, and the field has been no-tilled for probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 years. And then the other side of the field is in a more common light tillage, so a light vertical tillage, and testing the difference between no-till and lighter till. So still not doing that conventional moldboard plowing, but checking to see if there's a difference between those two different tillage types. So we keep this field in regular crop rotation, so it is in soybeans right now, but it has been in corn and wheat in regular rotation, and the study has been going on over several years and will continue for a couple years more. Last on our field tour is field G, where this is planted in a cover crop this year with buckwheat and sunflowers. And you can see that this is attracting lots of pollinators, and it's beautiful to look at. The reason we use cover crops is that when our crops come off in the fall, the field is often left bare for 5 to 7 months. And instead we can use these cover crops to help us keep something growing on the soil, which helps keep the soil in place and improve soil health. And in the springtime, when these plants have died off, they'll leave residue on the field, which again is beneficial for our farmers when they're farming their next crop in the spring. When you're all done with your walking tour, you can choose to leave your pamphlet back here for us so that somebody else can use it, or you can take it home with you if you want to learn more about what we do here at the demo farm and teach your friends and neighbors. Thanks so much for visiting.